Every year we throw a party here in town. We are rating all of the EPCOT food festivals on today's episode, plus this week's Wet Spaghetti. Let's bring back the magic.
Bring back the magic for all to see. Together we'll discover all the joy and glow. In every story, there's a little bit of gold. Join our podcast adventure, let the magic unfold.
All right. Welcome back to another great episode of Bring Back the Magic. This episode, as all episodes, are brought to you by Theme Park Chuckle. So if you want to know a great way to support your favorite podcast about Disney, go on themeparkchuckle.com. You can grab yourself a Captain Jack's Rum Tour shirt. Why is the rum always gone? Because you drank it. That's why. Because you drank it, Jack. Perfect shirt with the opening of the Beacon Barrel soon. I am one of your hosts. I'm Josh.
And I'm his sister, Gina. And for those of you just joining us, welcome aboard. Please, if you are watching on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Anybody get sick of that joke yet? We don't, clearly. If you're listening on Spotify, please click that follow. And guys, give us your comments because we love them. We really, really do. And if you want a little bit extra magic from us, please follow us on all forms of social media. That would be Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. We are at BBT Magic Podcast, and we'd love to have you join us there.
Wow, that was a lot. That's a lot to say. God bless you, because literally I don't remember half the thing. I don't remember what I had for breakfast, and it wasn't that long ago.
I had a bowl of tiny fruity cuties from Trader Joe's. Not a paid advertisement.
Tiny fruity cuties. Is that like a Trader Sam's version of Fruity Pebbles or something?
It's not shaped like Fruity Pebbles. It's more like Tricks, I guess I would call it. They're like shaped like little.
Does it taste like Fruity Pebbles?
No. It's like little.
Well, then I'm uninterested because I love Fruity Pebbles.
I love Fruity Pebbles too, but it's a little different than that. And it tastes a little healthier, but it's like a fruity healthy cereal.
Okay. All right. Fruity cereals aside, we got what I hope to be a fun episode. Mm-hmm. You all right?
I was pointing to the TV 14 that I was anticipating coming our way.
You don't get a TV 14. All right. You know what? And those of you watching or listening, this program is rated TV 14, so younger viewers, please have your parents' permission if you're going to watch this program. Or listen to it, or whatever you do to it, okay?
Yeah.
Share it, like it, do all the fun things, because that's what we're here for, and it makes us happy. Thanks for being such a great part of the Disney community. So what's going on? You know what we just had done before this recording? We had done a podcast with some friends of ours, the Daddies podcast, which sounds a little...
Daddy's the podcast.
Daddy's the podcast. Yes. I get everything wrong. So we've known this if you're... this is like the 24th episode of Bring Back the Magic?
I think so.
Yeah, so like we're in the second dozen. Okay, it's the second dozen worth of... Is that right? I don't know. We've done 2 dozen, not in the second.
We've completed. This is the end of the second dozen. Although, to be fair, we do have 4 bonus.
Do I look like somebody that's good at math or numbers?
We also have done 4 bonus episodes, so you got to count those in there as well.
We've done a plethora of content. And we're
happy.
But we had the most fun time on there. Yeah. Every podcast we've done to date, whether it's ours or someone else's, it just keeps getting better and better and better. Not by like the quality standpoint, it just fulfills us so much.
It's exciting. And also I'm going to say, we always say our friends, and these people are friends now. And the reason I'm differentiating is because I am very grateful that we've been able to forge these friendships, because when we say, our friends podcast, these weren't people that were like, our friends already and had a podcast and that's why they had us on. We've been so grateful that people have reached out to us and said, hey, we'd love you to be on our show. And then they become our friends through that process. So we do consider them friends now, but we didn't have that relationship with them prior. But that's just been the blessing of all these shows that we've been on. We've been asked to be back on certain ones, which is also really flattering and nice. Because Josh and I always think we only have a podcast because we gave ourselves one.
Exactly. So Greg and Eric were absolute great time when we were talking to them. We had a blast. It was like talking to old friends. I mean, it's new friends that are now feel like old friends. So shout out to those guys. Make sure you give them a follow, a like, whatever, and
subscribe
then listen to
on their channels.
Subscribe to, yes, thank you. Mm-hmm. So with that being said,
wait, speaking of, who's not my friend? This mofo that I noticed in my freaking microphone stand. freaking Stitch in here, Josh.
It's not nice to throw stitches around.
I know you're getting ready for
Stitches
that
need
freaking
stitches need stitches.
Stitches get stitches, I'm telling you. But on that note, I do just want to give a quick little shout out to this. I'm terrible at when it's on mirrored image. This little Stitch drawing in the background and this little Moana that our niece Quinn did for us. And I'm also wearing my bracelets that Kinsley made for me. So shout out to them. And want to give props and great placement of the artwork. So the only person who could get me to hold Stitch would be a family member. But I am wearing my cute bling watch you got me because I do love this. So I'm a hypocrite, really.
Good. And by the way, you were talking about mirror images and stuff. It's actually just a dead
I know
image.
that's
and
what
you
it means.
can just point directly to where it is.
Mirror.
So.
I mean, it's like...
No, what it is like it's real time. So if you point to something here, it's not going to be like reversed. You're just going to be literally it's going to show you what you're pointing at. So
it throws me off.
Yeah, it's hard, Gina. Well, you'll get there. So let's get into something we love to do, and it's always fun. It's always a great time. Wet spaghetti! Oh, mamma mia! Yes, it's the wet spaghetti. Al dente.
Yes.
Yes. So we're not done yet.
I love that though. That's a good expression. It's like I always say when someone gives us their wet spaghetti, I say, cook it up. And I like that. It's like, that's a bit al dente. You need to keep working on that.
Back in the pot with you.
Yes.
All right. So wet spaghetti. Gina, what do you got for us this week?
I heard.
Did you?
I heard. And for those who don't know what wet spaghetti is, go back a couple episodes. But I heard that Disney is finding a way to bring back the Cinderella Dreamlights to the castle because they don't want to have to put them up and have a giant crane there for a long time. So they're finding a new way that they could be concealed within the castle structure.
Fiber optics.
Yes, perhaps that you wouldn't see them a la the way that they have done. And I believe our friend Adventure Waits with Ashley had mentioned something like this about the way that they added the lights to Spaceship Earth without compromising the look, and they can be utilized when needed. That somehow they are finding a way. I don't know. I'm not the Imagineer. I just heard this. That Disney will be doing that to bring back the Cinderella Dreamlights that we all love so much.
I like it. In other cholesterol-related news, I heard that McDonald's sponsorships are making their way back into the parks. Okay.
I thought you were going to say to our podcast. I was like, go on.
Well, then, okay. Yes.
Making their way to Tiny Podcast. Yes.
As I said, I heard that they're making their way back into the parks, starting with putting back the McNuggets and French fries available outside of Adventureland. So that's coming soon, guys. And if it doesn't happen, make sure you talk to a cast member.
On that note, though, it is kind of funny that when you think about it, that would be an exciting addition that tells you what the quality of theme park food is, like in Magic Kingdom, that you're like, I would be thrilled to have McDonald's.
Yeah, I'm not going to get
nuggets
into the
fries.
intricacies of theme park food right now because I think they've dumbed down a lot of things, and also taste has not been a consideration in most of the
presentation is far more.
I think it's all been overhead. I think it's all the overhead costs, and it's not really like seasonings don't cost that much, guys. So just make sure you season your food. But yeah, so that's the wet spaghetti for the week. Hope everybody enjoyed the wet spaghetti.
Wet spaghetti.
This episode, as you said in the cold open, which was so geniusly sung, again.
Nod to one of my favorite Disney movies,
Yes.
Hunchback of Notre Dame.
So this is rating EPCOT's festivals. Now, those of you who don't know, there's 4, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, EPCOT festivals a year, starting with the Festival of the Arts, or FARTS, as most people refer to it. Affectionately, the FARTS one.
The Farts Festival. Mom's going to love this episode.
All of them. Yeah, my mom thought that was the F word for the longest time in her life. That's how proper and wonderful my mother is. She thought fart was the F. Technically, she's right, but it's not the one everyone was thinking about.
Festival's the F word as far as we're talking.
Yeah, there's a lot of Fs.
Lots of F words.
So Festival of the Arts, which you get a lot more of the makers, I would say, like into the parks. And makers being like, painters and like sculptors,
like
artisans, stuff like that. But makers in a way, like also they have different like shops that are set up in there as well, that people have other little things you can buy, whether they're like little handmade things and whatnot. I don't know what the word is for it, but I always call them makers because coming from a pop culture background, that's what we refer to a lot of people that did things and like, did stuff in that community. That's actually a pretty fun festival. And all of these, I will say, preface before, that they each come with some kind of element of a culinary effect through EPCOT. So there's always something for each of these, which is a big draw for me because I like the changing of menus in certain places. And so what do you think, Gina, when you think Festival of the Arts, what is your kind of go-to with it? If you're going to be there, you say, oh, I can't wait to see what?
I think that Festival of the Arts by far has the best presentation for food because not only do they have the big, what do you want to call them? Stand-ups where it makes it look like you're standing in a painting. Cool photo ops. Yeah. So it's like some famous painting and then it looks like you can stand in it, which is very fun. Like we all did the Frida Kahlo one where it's like you go in there and it looks like you have a unibrow and all.
Remember when Danielle did it and she didn't need the unibrow?
Stop. Anyway.
Just kidding, Danny. Thanks for watching.
So anyway, I think that's a very fun aspect of it, but the food is presented in a very beautiful way. They give very pretty, like artistic presentation. Now I will say, it's not my favorite tasting food festival-wise. I have them divided where it's
That's
the
one they do the deconstructed.
A lot of times. It's very like...
So it'll be like a BLT, but almost be like a salad.
Right, which I just don't get into DIY food. Put it together for me. Thank you. I don't feel... I didn't come here to make my own food.
Okay.
But... if it enhances the dish, we went through this at Wonderland, though. Remember when they did? Because it's like, molecular gastronomy. It's one thing if it's going to enhance the dish, but when they're like, oh, we pulverized this tomato, and then we froze it, and then we squirted it back into frozen tomato balls.
Just as a side note, because not getting to a different topic, but there's different ways that applies. Molecular gastronomy is supposed to be something to fool your eyes. And it's not so much the deconstruction of things or like this was done this way. It's like literally, so if you're drinking a clear base consomme thing that tastes like it has volume to it or something, or it gives a completely different taste, like it looks like water but tastes like lobster, that kind of thing.
I thought molecular was anything that was messing with the molecules of the food.
But they go through and they deconstruct. Yes, they'll go through and make stuff and do things that way, but it's also a big part of that is creating something else.
What I look forward to is the presentation of the food. I will say they can afford to do that because that festival takes place, for those who don't know, at the very beginning of the year. So that's going to be like a January, February festival. So statistically a lower crowd time. I mean, it used to be, now they consider September to be the lowest time of the year, which is wild to me that that's less crowded than January. But that's why they could afford to do these greater presentations on food. So I think the food presentation and just the fun little extras, I think it's fun photo ops. That maybe has the best photo ops. And you are right, though. I didn't even really think of it that way. When you're talking about the makers, that is a very cool one. Josh and I have friends that are artists, a friend that's a big Disney artist. And so seeing that's a fun draw, is going, if you like to buy Disney art for your home, I think that's a great opportunity to go and check it out.
Some of my friends, like there's many different studios that'll go and set up their stuff. There's like the artist Noah, like he's got to set up usually Festival of the Arts. Disney Fine Art was a friend of mine that does that. Shout out to Michael Young and his crew. They have artists like Michelle St. Laurent, Tim Rogerson, a really good friend of mine, Don Ducky Williams, all these kind of different artists that'll come through there, and they'll actually do live. The thing with Tim, and gotta love it, because you'll see Tim when they do like different promo videos of like Festival of the Arts or the festivals for EPCOT, you can see like somebody painting and all, and it's got like that real bright, vibrant kind of style. He has like a Picasso cubism kind of thing he'll do in a lot of different paintings, but he is an extremely talented artist.
Isn't that Tim behind you?
Yeah. So Tim... Yes, exactly. I was going to get to that too. That's one of Tim's paintings as well. But you'll see his hand painting on one of those videos. But those things you go through, he actually live paints at Festival of the Arts. And I think he said something like, I want to say, and I want to misquote here, but I think it's 30 to 40. I don't think anyone quotes our facts. I think it's like 30 to 40 original paintings during the time of Festival of the Arts. And he live paints every day that he completes during that time. They completely sell out.
That's crazy. So he is talented. This is not a paid sponsorship for Tim, but he's a good friend of ours.
And that's one of the things I love about it. Also, because we've done something in the past where I talked about Cake Bake Shop, and shout out to Gina with Todd and Gina. Shout out to you both. I know Gina loves Cake Bake Shop. I said I'm going to give him a second try on this, but Festival of the Arts, during Festival of the Arts at the Germany pavilion right there, one of the carts, they have the Black Forest cake. And I said for $5, and I will stand by this, for $5, that cake knocked the pants out of every single cake that they had at Cake Bake Shop, and it was $5. And I really enjoyed it. So
I think something important to make sure we're streamlining as I'm thinking of it on this episode, because this was a highly requested episode, guys, which, by the way, thanks for requesting things from us. That makes us feel very special, but was rating the festivals, because I think a lot of people tend to, we know a lot of people listening haven't been to Disney many times. But also some people may wonder, like just looking on paper at the festivals, not really understanding why you would pick one over the other. So I think it's important we emphasize what the big differences are. Like you were saying, what gets you excited about it. For me, I would say I think crowds tend to be lower during that festival. And I do think it's a shorter festival. If I'm not wrong, I feel like that and Festival of the Holidays are considerably shorter than Flower and Garden and Food and Wine are.
Well, here's what I'll say about that. As you kind of jumped ahead about what these other festivals are, but I'll say that those two that you mentioned are, with the exception of maybe Festival of the Holidays, depending on the decor, I feel like putting them together is a lot less setup than the other ones are, because I feel like Food and Wine and Flower and Garden, especially Flower and Garden, I think is the most intricate one of all the festivals, and that's the one we're talking about next anyway. But I feel like that takes the most prep work, because if you look at it, it's like literally they've blanketed the entire park. I mean, you look at like the grounds around like where the monorail crosses over, like where you go through Journey into Imagination, you can look at like Spaceship Earth. That whole ground was like bare. That's why I was doing a video of something. I was like, oh, now it's not Festival of
It blows my mind that they take those flowers
and I'm
out.
like, why? I'm like, it's just, I'm sure because it's a lot to maintain during that. And they might, and to be honest, it might be during that time of year because of the bloom. Even though it is Florida, it's nice weather and everything. There might be things that only survive until a certain point. They don't want to see them get completely like annihilated. Because Disney is something on aesthetics. I mean, they always take care to have those things. Yeah. And I really think, like I said, Festival of the Arts for me, I think it's a fun. You can take the whole family. Any of these, you can take the whole family and have a good time.
But I think you're right as far as the makers. That's a really good point that I never think about when and that's odd.
There's little things that are Disney adjacent and all this stuff. And you're like, wow, I never got a chance to see this or that. And like,
if you love Disney art, that's a great chance to meet some favorite Disney artists. Sometimes they're there doing signatures and stuff like that, limited edition pieces. So I think that, and then the fact that the food is presented very beautifully. And the weather is very comfortable during that time. Yeah. And then you have those fun photo ops.
Well, artists like Tim, okay, we'll use Tim as an example. Shout out Tim. But they'll actually, like when you buy something, you can buy what's called like a G-clay or a print lithograph, whatever you want to do. G-clays are basically like a screen print, if you didn't know that already. But they'll a lot of times draw you a little original drawing on the back of these when you buy something. So you can say, can you do like a little sketch or something on the back? And I know Tim's always up for that kind of stuff. Sorry to put you on blast, Tim, and make your life a little more difficult. But he's a very sweet guy. And when you go through and you encounter people at his festival, you see, not only do you see their talent, you see their love of what they're doing and what their love of Disney is. Yeah. Tim lives like in Celebration, I believe, or whatever. His family, his wife works for Disney.
We'll tag his address down.
Yeah. Just show up, knock on his door and say, Tim.
To bring back the magic. Tell him a different podcast sent you.
Yeah, tell him that one. Sling back the magic. So, again, you see their passion because they love the parks. They love the culture. And that's what they're literally living their dream and doing what they love for a living. And it's so refreshing because you're not like this person, you come up like you're somewhere else. You're like, oh, you like my stuff? Here you go. Take it easy. No, they're actually happy to engage with you. And not everybody has the money to go out there and buy an original painting. But you can get a print. You can get like a little card. Sometimes you have like a bookmark or something like that might have artwork on. Go around, talk to these people. There's something for every budget usually in there. So Festival of the Arts to me is that one where you can go through. It's a buying festival. And that's what I would say to everybody. If you want to classify it, I love it. And I would rank this like, or rate this, not rank, but rating it. I think what are we doing on a scale of 1 to 5? Is that it? I would say for this one, I would actually put Festival of the Arts at a 5 for me. Just because it's my passion. And I would say this strictly because of the fact I do like some of the options they have in the food part of things, which when you go to each booth, like Gina said, there might be something that's plated a little bit more intricately or play on something or have some other little pop-up booths in there. But I feel like from my passion for artwork, for creativity, for all those things, it's a 5 for me because it speaks to what my fandoms are.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to be honest, like,
what are you, Gina? 2? You're not artistic at all. You're just horrible and dead inside.
I feel like I'm really failing at this rating system that we've been doing because 5.
Everything's a 4.572.
It's just hard for me because, like, I feel like if there's something I like better about another one,
but doesn't mean they both can't be ranked. Have you ever had 2 great meals and you said this is a 10?
Okay, no need to yell.
No
Don't
need
be
to be
hostile to the rest of us. But I would say if I'm ranking it or rating it in the idea that if you went, would you love this festival? I would say.
Oh, I'm ranking it for other people or rating
No,
it?
I'm saying.
Okay.
For me, like I would say, I'm gonna give it a 4.75. I really do enjoy it. I think it's a fabulous
Sorry, Tim.
festival. Maybe he's the whole point. I don't know.
Maybe he rates it a 3. You ever
But because there is a festival that I will give a 5 to, and I think that the difference is enough that it deserves a higher number. But I do think 4.75 strong. There's only one thing that's keeping it from being a 5 for me in comparison to something else.
Well, let's say this then.
But it's fabulous. I do love that festival.
As we move on into the following months, which is like starting, I guess, in March, usually is like the Flower and Garden.
Yeah.
I want to say that runs from March to, I'm like the exact date. I'm
June.
like, something like that, close to it. Yeah, about June.
Because it had just ended right before you and I just went in June, right?
Yeah, maybe it's through the end of May.
Yeah, I think it was like, because you and I went mid-June. I think it was.
Guys, aren't we great information?
We don't prep for any of this.
Like
I think it's
sources right
early
now?
June because I think you and I went mid-June. We were
Yeah,
like
and that's
the
why I was
19th.
mad. It's like, oh, they're gone. But I was there like 2 weeks beforehand. I'm like, oh, man, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, Flower and Garden, aesthetically, breathtaking. Like, and I say that, like I said, I can appreciate, I can use the word breathtaking, just so you know. Does it come off weird, this look? Does this look like somebody uses that? Anyway.
Stunning.
It's stupendous. My mother said a word one day that I can't even remember anymore, and I was like, where did that come from? And like, it was a real word. I thought she made it up.
Yeah.
Anyway, so literally the whole grounds are blanketed with beautiful flowers, plants, topiaries, which Disney for the longest time, I never knew when I was young that topiaries existed outside of Disney, and it wasn't just a Disney term, because I was like, they're like the topiary. You go through like the living with the land or listening to the land back then, and you're like, oh, there's topiaries we do for this. I'm like, topiaries, that's a fun word to say, topiaries. But they have all the characters. Yeah, they'll have all the characters, beautiful ones. Like you go through, and especially on the World Showcase Lagoon, and you're off. I want to say it's right outside of. Is it Germany? Yeah, I want to say it's Germany. It's where the Snow White and Seven Dwarfs are, because it does fall into that lore, kind of like the German folktale kind of things. But those are great. Snow White's on one side, usually with Dopey, and then the rest of the Seven Dwarfs are lined up there, and they're all topiaries. And they're ridiculously sculpted masterpieces. And you're looking like, how do people do this? Like, how it's like Mr. Miyagi style pruning some bonsai trees to the 80th power or something. It's awesome.
I think I've heard. This is not a wet
Is
spaghetti.
this a wet spaghetti? You've heard
No.
that little magicians
I've heard
come in at
people
night.
say that the way they make the topiaries, though, has changed from previously.
Where they don't just grow them into the molds.
They were growing them and then just pruning them back, and now they're kind of like making a wire frame and sculpting it around, and it's a little bit more like moss. They're not growing them that way, and they're using a lot more like additive
All right,
things
so they
to
immediately
them.
get
It's still
rated at
gorgeous.
1. They're rated at 1 now. I don't care how
it's
pretty it is.
still-
I'm very
it's
mad.
Still beautiful.
Thanks for ruining the whole thing for me. I could have just kept on thinking that they were made the old-fashioned
I don't
way.
know.
But someone
Again,
had
I
to
heard-
ruin the
I
magic
don't
again.
know.
You know what?
I
You know what we're
don't
doing?
know.
You and I, the next time, we're going on the Keys to the Kingdom tour, so I can
No.
ruin the magic for you
Okay,
too.
turd.
Guess
As I
what?
was
This is where the
saying-
garbage goes, Gina. It doesn't magically disappear from these things.
As I was saying, I don't know that. I heard that in a conversation on a fan forum where somebody was talking about the difference and how they don't form them the same way. They're still beautiful. The entire festival is a 5. It's a 10 aesthetically. The amount of topiaries they do around, the way
was
that
that?
they...
Tupperwares.
I hate
The
it
amount of Tupperware it takes.
I hate it here. Oh, you stutterbug, are going to give me...
If you called back to the lookbook episode where I couldn't read, that's just low. That is low.
Stutterbug.
I
Okay.
wish I had something that wouldn't break my equipment here to throw at you.
Anyway, sorry, Josh.
I
You have me on
really
a time
do.
clock this episode. For those who don't know, I'm trying to stay in line.
I have nothing to throw at you.
Anyway, aesthetically, it's a 5 because not only do they do the theming, like you said, it's different character representations like all around for every single country. It's absolutely gorgeous. The flower beds Josh mentioned that go across like over where Journey into Imagination is, and it is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. I will say the food is very good. Sometimes it's a little tough when you've been to the festivals. And Josh, tell me what you think on this. The struggle sometimes when you've been to a festival multiple times is a lot like Disney Springs, I say. Do you hope that the same food comes back because you love it? And you're
Or
like,
do you hope it leaves?
Or do you hope there's something new to try? Because sometimes you go up and you go, dang it, it's the same freaking food it's been the last 2 years.
And we'll get, because the next festival we're going to have a lot to say about, but we'll get to it and keep that point in mind.
Okay, but I absolutely do love this festival. It is, again, at a decent time. It's not summertime. So, yes, May can be excruciatingly hot, as can the beginning of June. But it's a beautiful time to go. You may hit some rain because it's Florida. So that's just going to happen with every festival. I just love this festival. It's become my favorite. So I'm going to jump ahead and tell you it's a 5 for me. And the reason it gets the 5 over the 4.75 for the arts is what they do to landscape that festival, is that they lay out these flower beds. It's not just setting up food booths. It's the topiaries. It's the flower beds. It is so stunning. It absolutely deserves a 5. There's lots of great food options. I also don't feel like it's as overly jammed packed as food and wine.
I feel like there
can
is
be a
some
little
room
bit.
to move in there.
Because food
I
and
really
wine
do.
sometimes, remember the year they did like 35 booths or something, and it was like, holy Moses.
And since
It
you
was a
said
bit-
it, I'm going to refer to the Disney
Jesus.
lookbook and read you about hair accessories now. Hair accessories should be a classic style and should coordinate with the outfit. Not one hiccup in said sentence.
Well, good news. I followed the lookbook today, Josh, as my hair accessory matches my outfit. Sorry, Spotify. Purple shirt, purple ears. I don't know if I'm making that face at you or him.
You had me in stitches. I don't know what version. This is like a Temu stitch or like Wish.com
He's
because
like a
he looks like he's
labubu.
drowned.
He's a labubu.
Here's your drowned stitch.
Yeah,
He's
that's my favorite kind.
Labubu. Yeah.
Labubu.
It was a labubu, all right. Okay, so
What do you rate? Or what do you want
So
to say
I'd
about
say,
Flower and Garden?
yeah, a little bit more about Flower and Garden. Again, when you walk through here, everything is just, it's a festival for the eyes. Okay, that's like first and foremost. Like you go through, like we talked about the scenic views you have of this stuff, but again, from a craft perspective, you see that we talk about bring back the magic and everything. We talked about it's not only Disney, it's the guests and everything else, but the magic it creates to be able to set a scene, set a tone somewhere. That festival is so on point. It is so true to what it's called. It is unapologetic, and I love it. Like I said, again, this is something they might all get 5s.
To be fair, we are not going to give an acronym to this festival because it wouldn't go the same.
Yeah.
It wouldn't
Oh
go
my
the-
God, that I didn't even think that's horribly offensive, Disney.
It would not go the same way that parks. I just, wait a minute. We're not going to do that on this one.
That is awful.
Okay.
Oh
no,
my
no.
God.
No. We're not
That
going to do
is.
that.
Why do you make me laugh so hard? Because I'm like, talk about out of left
ruined.
field.
I'm ruined for the rest of the show.
Well, you ruined the show.
Sorry.
As we got canceled for something that's not us, by the way, just making an observation.
Oh my God.
So anyway, Flower and Garden, great festival and beauteous. Okay, I could walk around there for a long time, take pictures, but again, it's probably the best photo op festival outside of festival holidays.
Because everywhere. It's not
Yes.
just like you have to find like with the flowering or what's it called?
You look like you swam here now because your makeup.
Oh my God. Because the Festival of the Arts, the Farts Festival here. Sorry, Mom. I will just do this fan on me a little bit to
Gina
dry
is
my
literally
face.
tearing up like she's on the casting couch.
Oh my God. Jimmy 14.
That's where,
Josh.
but it was alluding. I didn't say anything bad, okay?
Anyway,
Anyhow,
in
so-
Festival of the Arts, the photo ops are things you're going to need to seek out. They're going to be those big stand-ups of the, paintings and stuff. In this, really anywhere you look is a photo op because it is just so gorgeous.
Yeah, the colors and everything come. And again, like I said, this, what I was getting at before was, do you see the true magic of Disney? And it just, everything's comes to life for you.
Yeah.
You see the time and attention that they put in this festival, and you're like, this is what you are used to from Disney. And that's the one thing I think, minus you ruining the magic for me, Gina, because that's what you tend to do. You see the skill and craftsmanship that goes into all this with the setup, the time it takes to do it.
It still
I
does.
think it's amazing.
But I want to say, to add on to your point, Josh, because I'm agreeing with you, everyone timestamp, agreeing with Josh here, 30 minutes in. I would like to say that for the flack that we don't mean to be giving Disney flack, but we are bring back the magic. It is all about the magic. And it's about keeping Disney to a standard that they told us that we should expect from them, right? That's really the bottom line. This is not us saying
It's about setting
Disney
expectations.
do more than what you promised. It's Disney keep up with what you promised. But I do think when you think back, because for those who don't know, these festivals were designed to fill in where Disney had low crowds. And you and I remember the days, and it was the good old days, where you would go to EPCOT.
It was
and
months
it
of
was
low
a
crowds.
Ghost
Yeah.
town. It was
Now
a
it's
ghost
only
town.
September, I think.
Every ride was a walk-on. There was nobody there. So I get why Disney came up with this idea of how do we bring people in. I want to say the first festival was probably Food and Wine, and then Flower and Garden, then Festival of Arts, then Festival of Holidays. I don't know. But you are right about this. To design a festival, they could have just done, here are some food booths. But to Disney to go this extra mile and to lay out these flower beds and to do these topiaries and however they create
It's a
them, I
lot
don't
of real
care because they
estate to
look
fill, let's be
amazing.
honest with you.
That's a lot of off-site work to prep for a couple months of show. And it pays off, I think.
Yeah.
So when you're going and you're wondering like where your Disney money goes, like these are extra things that you're not really thinking that are cost.
I'm sorry, that's all the time we have for this week, Gina. Okay. Thank you. Big ups to God. G-O-D. Okay. Just kidding. Sorry. May have run on
The
there a
end.
little. Yes. But I agree with you, Gina. Let's move across to the next festival, which I know me and you.
What was your number that you gave this though?
I said 5.
Okay.
They're all going to be 5s for me. Let's spoiler
Okay.
alert. Just kidding. Actually, you know what? Flower and Garden, I would say is 4.75 to me because it's just I do prefer the Festival of the Arts a little bit more. So I'll give it the little edge, but 4.75. But it is great. It's a great festival. The next one, we used to schedule trips just purely based on this. Then we had kids. We got older, and we still would like to, but it became a little bit more difficult to sell the idea of just going and drinking and eating the entire time and not getting on rides when you have children. So, Food and Wine Festival starts usually late August, runs till about the beginning of November. It is so much fun in there, minus one thing, and this is a disclaimer. I love all you Floridians. I love the Florida annual pass holders. I think you guys are great. Many of our friends, all this stuff. Regular locals that go to Food and Wine on the weekend is the reason why I avoid EPCOT during Food and Wine on any
the
weekend.
weekends, yeah.
Because I would do it too. I would, but I also have a little bit more consideration for the people around me. That you are in a theme park with children and you're going around, but people will go there and literally get sloppy drunk on the weekend, go there yelling back and forth, and you get the ones, you know,
It
you
becomes
get the
a little amateur
you
hour.
get the frat boy, frat girl, or whatever you want to say, but it's a little much sometimes where you have people yelling. I had a woman that was drunk, came by me, and I was like, and just literally was rubbing the top of my bald head. And she goes, that's smooth. I'm like, we're not. This is like Cusco. No touchy. No touchy. I don't need somebody coming and just randomly touching the top of my head. It's weird. I'm going to get you're having a good time, but don't come up and just rub on me. 'Cause
And
that's
to
not
be transparent, we have been sloppy drunk when we were younger, early 20s at Food and Wine Festival.
But yeah,
You've heard
but
us talk
there
about
is
pub golf,
okay.
not multiple occasions. That's probably
let's
2
go
times
back.
ever. You
Let's go
learn your
back.
lesson.
There's a big difference. First of all, you and I are a delight when we are drunk.
We are very
okay.
happy
We
drunks.
are not mean. There's nobody fighting.
Not rude,
There's nobody
not
being
mean.
inconsiderate.
Just a lot. Just imagine us now.
We are
and then
already
it-
loud, so you will never know the difference. Okay, because whether I'm drunk or sober in a park, I'm just
pretty
as
sure
loud.
most of our viewers think that we drink before these shows, and
we
I
don't.
swear
and
we do
don't.
not.
So, yeah, I'm still getting over certain things from this episode anyway, but don't even start thinking about stuff, Gina, because it's just like me laughing already. I'm like, I just need to keep things out of my head of you being dumb. So, I'm sorry. But no, we'll go out and we'll have a great time. We'll enjoy each other's company. The great thing about Food and Wine is the fact you do not have to make a dinner or lunch reservation for that day if you do not want to. Because you can go and literally walk around the park, do your stuff, go to thing, and kiosk to kiosk, just nosh back and forth, graze, if you will, around the Showcase Lagoon, and you will be way more full than you would have been going to dinner anyway. And cost analysis, we usually say most of the things are under $10 on the, used to be like $5. I remember when it was at Food and Wine.
It was the best part of
it
the
was
festival.
Nothing was over $5 and thing. Now it's like everything's under 10 for the most part. There is some specialty cocktails I want to say that reach above and beyond that. But the best tip we can give you guys, and it used to be get the little wrist gift cards for Food and Wine. So when you put those on, you have them. I don't actually recommend the wrist gift cards. I mean, they're easy, accessible. I get a regular Disney gift card, the scannable ones, and I go and I pay with that, but I load it up beforehand, and I know I put a couple $100 on this thing for the time I'm near the parks or whatever, if it's just me, because you can go through. I think it's usually, when I totaled everything out at Food and Wine one time, it was about $250 worth if I tried everything that was there, from like a food option standpoint. The drinks, obviously, you can add more. But I would go through, I'm like, here, I can just go through, put this much on. If I want to try one of everything, this would have come out to. But have those, because it's easier than going. I don't like the Magic Band thing because it charges the room, because I feel like every single charge, I don't keep track. Yeah. But I already know my spending if I use the gift card.
I think this is an excellent point, because we are big. I do like the wrist one, because for guys, a lot of times you have a wallet right in your pocket. Women, a lot of times it's things that we have like in a bag, and it's digging it out every time, and it's annoying. I'm with Josh. Don't use your Magic Band for this. Now, I will tell you, when you go to buy a Disney gift card, you cannot charge it to your Magic Band, because a Magic Band is not an immediate process. That's a said. So if somebody disputed a charge and you've got a gift card that you've already spent the money, Disney's like,
infinite money glitch.
Yeah, so you cannot do that. You do have to buy it separately. But I am a big believer, and a big tip, Josh and I are going to give you this no matter when you buy a Disney gift card, is go to DisneyGiftCard.com and register your gift card on there, because if you lose it,
you can just transfer it,
shut it off and turn it on to another card. You
Yeah.
will not lose your money. Definitely do that. That is the biggest tip that we can give you in this episode.
That, and the other thing is, ask when people know you're going to Disney, and when your birthday is coming up or you have a trip plan, just ask for Disney gift cards and start compiling them. And you could take each one and load it onto a single one. You can hold about $1,000 on each card you have. So once you can load one up to 1,000, then you get rid of those cards.
Great tip. So you're not keeping track of what's on this. And obviously your receipt, every time you use it, it's going to print out and tell you what your balance is.
Tells you how much money. And it comes right on the screen most of the time.
It is very easy to spend money in Disney and lose sight of. They guarantee. That's why they love a Magic Band.
That's the easiest budgeting hack, though. It's like you already know what you spent.
But to budget and say, I'm not going to spend more than, even if you did it daily and you said, I'm going to spend no more than $50 today, then you can go on and then you can add another $50 on your next EPCOT day, whatever you want to do. But that is a great way to do this festival. I think I'm glad Josh brought that up. I think it's great. I love having the little one on my wrist, so it's right there and what have you. And it's also fun with your friends. Like, we're going on an adult trip and whatever. You can like take turns and be like, okay, I'm going to get this round at Canada. You get this. Also, an important thing to know is there's more food in World Showcase.
That's what I was going to say real quick, not to interrupt you.
That's okay.
Don't do that. If you're with a group of people, have everyone buy their own crap. Somebody ends up getting screwed every single time. You're like, don't worry, I got this weekend. I got nothing. I got $400 left to book. You actually let me buy everything.
That's your own fault if you do it that way.
I'm just too nice. And I'm like, but I'll sneak off. I'm like, where did you go? The bathroom. Where'd you get that beer? From the bathroom.
Anyway, our friends are not like that. But anyway, I feel like it's important to know that when you go to World Showcase, and actually for Food and Wine, I guess for the other festivals too, it extends into the old Future World area too. There's booths and stuff in there that it didn't used to. So it could be contained to World Showcase. And then they started expanding into the other half of the park.
Do you remember the festival center?
Yeah.
The Millennium Village.
But you're going to have additional countries that you wouldn't have the rest of the year in EPCOT. Yeah. So you might have Brazil, you might have Greece. My biggest tip for you guys regarding any festival, if you are a regular EPCOT goer especially, is challenge your palate. Because even though they're not as cheap as they used to be, food offerings, this is your time to try something you wouldn't normally get. It's very easy to fall into they have a beet salad. I'll get that. Well, you know you like a beet salad. Why are you going to go do that? The food festival is the chance to really expand your palate. I tried something one time in Japan, and it was this like red bean paste dessert from Japan, and I'm like, I would never get that on a menu. I got it. It was delicious. I got it the second time we went that trip also. It was really unique and good, and I liked it. I wouldn't have known that otherwise. I wouldn't sit in a restaurant when it's the only thing I'm getting to eat, sit down and go, oh, let me try this thing I don't know if I like. Yeah. But when you're at a grazing festival or with your friends and certain things come in a sharing portion, challenge your palate, or you're really, I think, cheating yourself out of one of the biggest benefits of doing a festival. That's my personal take
you were
there.
Saying before, and that's why I said I think it bears repeating on this segment of things, is the fact that things that are at the festival continually, do you want them to stay or should they go and hope something new comes? One thing I will say, and it's kind of like one of those things, I think it's been said enough times, and actually I think Mark and Stacy from we wear matching shirts. Sorry, lot for me to say. Yeah, thanks. Today, Junior. So they were doing something with the pizza window at Via Napoli. Okay, which the pizza window there is not good. It's like this thick pillow-like piece of pizza that I do not care for.
I don't think it's worth the wait.
It's not even a wait. It's not good pizza. I've never even had to wait for it. It's not good pizza. Inside Via Napoli, you can get something. You can get like pizza by the yard or something that's really good, or just get like a little margarita style pizza or something like that. There, that's incredibly delicious. They have a 4-cheese one there, awesome. But those kind of things. What I was used to for a while at Food and Wine was that the Italy kiosk there, they actually had pizza there. And that pizza, it was like rectangle pizza, not like the Elios you used to get in the cafeteria at school, but they cut it on an angle, but it was like kind of almost like triangular. And it was great. It was really good pizza. They got rid of that. And now like the options in Italy, I feel like do not speak. Again, we're from an Italian family. We like Italian food. We both cook. We both do stuff like this. The thing about me is always going to be flavor trumps everything.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if it's something that just tastes bland, I cannot take that. Mm-hmm. I enjoy when they have like the pierogies and stuff like that have that like the little kielbasa to them, and that's good. I had some from the store the other day. I bought like pierogies and they were like cheese. I'm like, these are the most god awful things around. I'm like, this tastes like nothing. My wife looked at me and goes, what am I eating? But long story short, there are certain staples there, like when you go to Canada and they have the little fillet. They have like the mushroom fillet.
I think
there,
people
with,
would
like,
riot
potatoes.
if they ever took that off because it's such a good deal.
It's so good. It's like you can get two of those and you're like filled up.
And the cheddar cheese soup, right? Isn't that still
but
there?
It's the other thing. The cheddar cheese soup. It's a funny thing. It's like
That's
you're
not
going
my vibe,
into if you're
Soup
going
in
into
Florida.
a park and you're going at night when it's cooled off and later into the festival. That's fine when it's Food and Wine, but it's like when you're in September and it is 9,000 degrees, like what do I really want? Let me think of this. I want a burn the roof of your mouth cheddar cheese soup
And
that I could literally hear be sweating out in about 5 seconds.
I know it sounds like it doesn't make sense that I would eat a hot steak but not a hot soup in the heat, but the difference is the hot steak is just going to be like hot in my mouth. It's not going to coat my throat and like all the way down in my body.
I will eat a hot
like,
steak in the middle of the Sahara.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't care.
It's different. Hot soup in summer, you're never going to catch me ordering that. I don't understand it. It's not my thing. Another good point, Josh, I think that we should make, and we do this. If you are going during any of these food festivals and plan to take advantage of them, don't make yourself dining reservations. Like, you're not going to be able to do it. Like, if you say, oh, we'll sit down to lunch, and then I guarantee you're not going to be able to make it work. Now, I will say, if you have small children, it is kind of important to have a place you can sit for a meal at least once a day, because all these options may not be friendly for your kids, but you'll always be able to find something walk-up wise. But if your kids aren't in strollers and you got to find a place to sit down and have them eat their chicken tenders.
The new future world, because I don't get into the world discovery, world nature, all that stuff.
Garbage.
Around there, the festival center right there that has like the festival favorites booth, that's where the pierogies are. Like they'll have certain things that are in that spot.
Yeah.
That has more seating now. Like outdoors.
Yeah.
Like that's what I did say to make it more like a park and you could sit down. That is a nice welcome addition to have something. I think the aesthetics still need some help.
Yeah.
From like it needs something more focal point. Like of that without no fountains there, all you got is Poop and Walt in the main part of that down from like
Don't sit on this hot steel bench next to this.
Oh yeah, don't touch
copper-burning
Walt.
statue.
He
Do
is
not touch
hot.
Walt.
That statue will never have a fingerprint on it because first of all they burn off. But it's like
That'll
you
be an
can't touch
electric
him.
fence. It's like
You're like, here, kid, come here and hug Walt.
stop doing my skin.
He comes in, this kid's like, here, I'm on my way to my skin graft. But no, like having space to actually sit down with your family, because we all teased before about the dining table of Food
Trash
and Wine.
can.
It was just a trash can.
Yeah.
You know, have the old notorious
Still
Benny,
is.
you know, like
There's
sitting
people
there.
on Etsy that literally sell trash can tablecloths with little pockets for your silverware, which I think is actually very cute and clever, but it's like the EPCOT tablecloth.
Which they don't realize that you're not supposed to do. They're like, you
I know,
cannot
but it is-
decorate things like guys in Disney World.
But it is funny.
We used to hide things like, you know, just like here's a random thing. Like it wasn't like trash or anything. But like, see if this is gone by tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
here.
but I do think that that's an important thing. Like, if you're adults, definitely don't make any dining reservations if you're going to
Yeah.
spend a full day in Epcot. Just go around, graze
Yeah.
at the booths. It's also nice about a festival is not everybody's always hungry at the same time of day, right? So everybody's got different appetites. They've got different, size appetites or time appetites. So it is nice if you say, okay, we came into Epcot today, who's hungry? And somebody's like, oh, I'm going to get something right away. Always eat before you start drinking, guys. But I'm going to eat
And
something.
always start in Mexico.
Yes,
This
but-
is non-negotiable.
But
I don't care if you walk through the International Gateway. You go truck your butt through the UK and Canada and go back over to Mexico.
But
That's
I
what
told
do.
you, also an important thing is if you're going to ride Ratatouille, if you're going to ride Guardians, definitely contemplate when you're eating. You do not want to ride those rides right after you eat. That's not in mission space for those of you who ride that for whatever reason.
I would say a tip is to knock out your rides you want to do before you start your tour around the world.
Especially drinking, eating, what have you. Now, Josh, I'm going to say again.
Minus
my one
the Grand
exception-
Fiesta tour. You can get on that.
No,
hammered.
my one
It doesn't matter.
exception, when we talk about the countries, I say if you are going to do the full loop, yes, start in Mexico every single time. If you're drinking, without a doubt, start in Mexico. But if you are coming in for breakfast, I think France is the place to start if you're coming in an hour, because it's one of the ones that's open before the rest of World Showcase. And I think that is why you can go to France first, just to get
Good point.
breakfast in there.
That's okay, but
And then from
that's a
there,
stop.
I would go
Yeah,
back
that's-
to Mexico.
yes,
I would go back
yeah,
to Mexico
okay.
and then do the
Well,
loop.
good,
So
you
it's,
way to bring it back.
right. So that's what I'm saying. When I say France, that's what I mean, because that is the best breakfast spot. And it's one of the few countries that's open before the rest of World Showcase because they, have the, I think.
No, that's a good point. We knew we'd spend more time on food and wine because look at us. We like to drink and eat.
But I am going to say maybe I should give it a 5. I was going to say 4.75. But, okay, what we were talking about, the way I rank the festivals is I say that I think that Flower and Garden is the prettiest. I think Food and Wine has the best food. And I think Festival of the Arts has the prettiest food. You know what I mean? So it's like it kind of goes in that. And then I don't want to jump ahead.
All right, well, let's go in the rating of Food and Wine. I would say I give Food and Wine a 5 for me.
Okay. I'm going to go back to 4.7.
Okay. I'm going to go to a 5 for this because of the fact that I'm just like, it's one I really do enjoy.
Yeah.
I love to eat. I love to do things, but I will say it has slipped for me in the past years. I do like some options from like the Honey Bistro and all that kind of deal. Like I like they had like a pulled pork something in like the one more Hawaiian-esque kind of thing they did.
Yeah. The food is what carries the number for me at Food and Wine because I do think it's the best food offerings.
Yeah.
But aesthetically, there's not anywhere
nothing.
near
No, like,
Flower and Garden
listen,
and Festival of the Arts.
Listen,
give you.
there
It's
is
really
nothing, but there's also,
aesthetically.
I want to point out, during Food and Wine, there is a lot of on-site, off-site different things you can do. There's like cooking and instruction stuff. There's like packages for dining. There's wine packages and things, which I have not done a lot of, which I'd like to do in the future. We have one of our
Caitlin's
friends,
done
Caitlin.
a lot of those.
Yeah, Caitlin's done a lot of that stuff. Mainly the drinking,
And they're
part,
all extra cost,
'cause
obviously,
Caitlin's
all
an
those
alcoholic.
Stop. All of those
You
are
need to
extra
go to see
cost.
some. I'm just
So
kidding.
sometimes with Disney, if you're already spending that much money, it's not always feasible for everyone to add on. Or if you're doing things with kids, some of those things are not things you can bring
a
kids
lot of things
to.
are just they'll just knock you out of budget. Okay,
Right.
because you go there, you want to try to take advantage of as much things on Disney property as you can that are already included in your price.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, all these festival things are extras. Whether you're going to buy artwork, whether you're going to pick up something gardening wise or something for like during food and or Flower and Garden rather, and then for Food and Wine, it's like you're going to be spending on alcohol and all these other things and food. So you kind of just want to, that was the biggest tip you can give you when you go to the festivals. Make sure you're budgeting out really what you want to do and try to stick as much on it as you can. Don't go 0 to hero on the first day of your festival visit. Remember, if you're going for multiple days, spread this out amongst many days and you can always come back and say, I want to hit this half this
It's hard.
time.
You're never going to be able to get everything like in, but that's why it's also good to say, hey, I'm going to get this. We can each take a bite of it. And then you have something
I
with
can
a
stay a
fork.
whole week in Disney and go to nothing but Epcot, and I can literally walk around there because I love
Yeah.
walking Epcot. I love interacting with people, sampling different stuff, and there's so much to do. I do wish they'd add some more top tier dining stuff into that part of things, but I think they're doing pretty well. So I will say, mine. We said rating. I'm going to give it a 5. You're going to give it.
I'm going to go
4.7.
4.75 just because there's no aesthetic quality to
Okay.
it. It
All right.
carries heavy from the food.
That's a good thing. I feel bad for rating it a 5. Now rate shamed me. You know what? 3. It's a 3 for me. I'm mailing in a 3. 3 middle fingers for non-aesthetic, no glow up here for Food and Wine. No, I will give it my initial 5 because I feel like it's mean to take
It's a
that
very
back.
fun social festival too.
Okay. So
But avoid it on the weekend.
moving right along, this one is the Festival of the Holidays. Okay, so it's going to encompass your main winter-like holidays of
It's
things.
gonna be like mid-November, I think.
Yeah, so
they
you're going to go through
started,
your Thanksgiving to your Christmas,
and then done. Done by the end
Hanukkah,
of
whatever
the year.
else you want to put into there. Celebrates all that kind of stuff. New Year's, whatever you want to throw into the mix with Festival of the Holidays. But I will say this, and I don't know if this is a hot take on it. I feel like EPCOT is the least holiday of any of the parks to me. So I feel like it just does not come off
It didn't
decorative.
used to be that way, though.
But I'm like, I feel like other than the main tree you encounter when you come out like from like dead on into World Showcase, and you have the big tree there, and you just have a really nice photo op there and everything else. I just feel like it's disjointed. I feel like each country to country they might try to, but it just seems lost. I feel like the theming feels lost for Festival of the Holidays. I feel like even there's like from a merch standpoint, from everything else, I feel like it just doesn't hit like Magic Kingdom hits.
And
when
I-
you walk down Main Street and it's
Yeah.
decorated for the holidays, whether it could be anywhere from Halloween to Thanksgiving to Christmas, it legit is.
And I
your
agree
on
with you because
brand.
I think that about Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom too. I think that they do a better
I think-
job than Epcot does.
Yeah, I feel like they have a little bit more, and that's what I said. I feel like that's my hot take, and I'm like, it's not like
I
hot
agree.
take time,
I
but-
agree with you on that 100%. Actually, I think what
It's another photo op. It's another photo op festival.
I think that what it suffers from, because when it first came out, what Festival of the Holidays had going for it was everyone said the portions were larger. The portions were larger in all the festival food, and people were like, oh, this is amazing because you're getting what feels like a full meal almost size for these prices. And then that kind of went to the wayside. What I think Festival of the Holidays suffers from is the length of the festival. Is that if they started that festival November 1st and gave it 2 full months, I feel like it would be better. Now that would have to come at the cost of shortening Food and Wine, right? Because the reason it starts later is because it's right on the heels of Food and Wine and they need that time to transfer things over, whatever. So I think in the midst of that is why we don't get more of the decorations and things. I love the idea of understanding how each country celebrates the holidays and signature dishes. I don't know that this, and I'd love to hear your thoughts as with Josh. Let us know. If you're somebody that goes regularly or has been at all to Festival of the Holidays, I have been to that festival. If you feel like it gives you that vibe of, wow, this is traditional holiday fare from around the world. I don't get enough of that for it to be a draw for me, but we all know the number one thing that's going to put me there at that festival is the idea of seeing the glimmering greenhouses. I haven't seen it because when I
Gina's
first went to
not
that
talked
festival,
at length or ad nauseam
that
to-
wasn't there yet.
during the
But
stories on
that
Instagram.
deserves its own festival. But the other thing I'm going to say is the candlelight processional. That
Yeah, I
is
was
a
gonna say, I was gonna bring that
big
up, the candlelight
draw. And
processional.
something that we missed in the previous festivals is the Garden Rocks concert and Eat to the Beat. Those concerts that they do.
Eat to the Beat is a pretty star-studded outfit used to be. Now it's like, here's.
I think it's still pretty great.
It is, but let's just be
Who do you
honest.
think's gonna be there? Taylor Swift? I think they're very big names. Not every week. They can't fill that many.
No. I'm going to say no to Tay-Tay for the thing. I don't need this. But no, I'm saying, I think this year it's like Smash Mouth is there. I'm like, and the lead singer is
I was like,
deceased.
didn't he die?
Is deceased. I'm like, you can't give like 3/4 of
Well,
Smash
all I care
Mouth.
about is Boyz II Men's gonna be there.
Boyz II Men is a great one. I didn't see Mark McGrath
with
with Sugar Ray's usually a big
They're
thing
always there. They're
and
not
I didn't
there?
see him on the lineup. But they have things like David Archuleta and Jordan Sparks. Like it's like 2 of American Idol fame and stuff. I
But
feel
you're
like
getting it for free.
you know what? And I've overpaid. And it's like,
That is not nice.
But you know what? I'll go see Starship. You know, and I'll
But
relive
again,
the
that's
soundtrack to
generational.
Mannequin.
That's generational. Like there's people that are gonna like different things. Like Mom is gonna love if
And then
it's
you
like
get Joey
Herman's Hermits.
Fatone and Friends.
I've
But
heard
Joey
he's one of the best
Joey
ones there.
Fatone, I will be honest right now, and Gina's definitely a boy band person.
Oh yeah.
I think he is one of the most entertaining people
Oh,
ever
yeah,
come out
and
of
he
that. And
seems
he's
so
such a
fun.
nice person.
Yes.
I've been
I
on,
watched
like, live
his cooking
streams
show.
where
He had a cooking
yeah.
show for a while
Yeah.
also with his family.
I think I was on a live stream with him one time, just inadvertently.
Yeah.
And it was just funny
He's
because
great.
he just seems like one of those guys that interacts with you. But they also, I love the fact that during those things, again, dropping something there, that they're not afraid to cover somebody else's stuff. Like Mark McGrath did that. Like the guys from NSYNC would cover a Backstreet Boys song or something like that. They don't care. No, and it makes it fun because it is Disney. But remember, these guys all grew up around Disney and had Disney affiliations anyway. Most of these guys, like Justin Timberlake was in the Mickey Mouse Club and all those kind of things.
A lot of them were. I think that it's important to know this as well, that for those, we often assume that the people listening to our podcast are the people that we know listen, and we assume they're all people that have been to Disney. For those of you that have not and are very new to this concept, I want to paint a picture for you real quick. So outside the American Adventure, American Pavilion, there is an outdoor theater that's all like what do you want to call it? Benches, basically, seating, bleacher seats, whatever, seating there. And so when the concerts take place, it is open seating. They do reserve seating if you do one of their dining packages. Yeah. You get reserved seating so you don't have to get in line early and try and get a good seat. But even if you are not in the seating bowl,
you can hear it.
You can hear it. You can even see it standing from the outside. So don't feel like you have to prioritize that unless close proximity to an artist is a priority for you. Otherwise, you can just stand right outside there, listen to it, watch it, what have you. A lot of these artists are going to perform for 2 nights. So figure it out. Like I know Boyz II Men is there the 2nd and the 3rd of November. So we get in on the 3rd. So I am going to do a seating package or dining package because with our mom, it's just easier
to make sure. It off. I'm looking up stuff while we're on it. They kick it off this year, the 29th, 30th with Joey Fatone and friends. Yeah. Which is pretty cool. And then you've got a lot of people that I don't know. But Sheila E. is playing during my birthday, September 19th and 20th. And if anybody wants to send hate mail, September 20th is Josh's birthday. And Tiffany, I think we're alone now. Yeah. She's playing on the 26th and 27th. Baha Men, if you want to know who let the dogs out. It was them. The Fray, Hanson.
Oh my God!
Hanson is the 17th and 20th of October.
Oh my God!
Actually, you know what?
Let me fly down
there. I
might
see Hanson because I'm going to be on Star of the Seas again on the 19th of October, and I'll probably stay in Disney. I might
fly down and just come down and see Hanson with you because that would be worth it. I freaking
Big Bad Voodoo Daddy's there. Boyz II Men is in the 2nd and 3rd, as you said. The first night we're there. Yes. Bowling for Soup.
Yep.
They had the song 1985, which was written by Mitch Allen from SR71. If you didn't know that, and that's a local band to us and friends of ours from way back. And the Beach Boys is going to playing. Looks like closing out November 16th. And
you know who's got to be there? I'm guaranteeing you. If you see the Beach Boys, John Stamos has got to be there. You know he's a huge Disney fan.
Formerly known as John Stamos. Now he looks a little more John Baysdale from Fitness Made Simple. He looks like a little lollipop head because he's like.
Oh my God! Stop. No, now there goes John Stamos ever being on our podcast, Josh.
We got Stamos.
But I'm going to say, back to what we're talking about, Festival of the Holidays, is the Candlelight Processional is this beautiful thing that they do at that same theater, and they always have a celebrity guest reading what 'Twas the Night Before Christmas.
Yeah, something like that. Or maybe just like the Disney lookbook. you may hear such people and famous personalities as Marvin the Martian.
The Disney look does not permit extremes in dyeing, bleaching, or hair coloring. If the hair color is changed, it may be natural looking, well-maintained, and complementary to your
reeling this back in, because Josh has a clock in front of me right now to make sure that we stay on time. I'm just ruining the magic by letting you know.
All the future episodes are an hour and 15 minutes.
But I would like to know in the comments, do you prefer longer episodes or do you like us to keep it at the hour mark? Because you're never going to get 45
And just to say that, if you're going to just comment on stuff, just throw some comments in there. We actually like interacting with people.
A lot of people do comment
regularly. I want to make content. I don't care what anybody says. I'm like, I actually like hearing people have to say good, bad, or different.
I comment back to every single one, and so do you. Sometimes you've commented before I have.
And it's like, that's a rarity. But I'm like, it's probably me commenting back to myself.
No, you've replied to people.
And we're not a fact cast. Like I said, we're not like sitting here just saying this is 100%. We're saying we could be wrong on certain points, but what we're not wrong about is our opinions on certain things, because those are ours. And this is not financial advice.
Something I want to mention that we didn't talk about that I do think, for me at least, is a factor sometimes, is the merch. Every one of these festivals is going to have, I'm not talking about the maker stuff, but the merch that Disney puts out for every single festival is awesome. They always
have a limited edition pin or something. They have stuff. Remember, it's also not only the regular merch, it's also annual pass holder merch as well.
Yes. And for those with children, or even adults can do this, there is a little like scavenger hunt that each festival has, okay? So with the Flower and Garden, it's going to be Spike's pollination something. What is it called? It's something pollination something. Anyway,
exploration. I don't know.
Yeah, it might be pollination exploration or exploration, whatever it is. Anyway, so it's a little Spike the Bee is this character they've created for food and for Flower and Garden.
The Ratatouille's during.
You go and buy. It's like $10 now, but you buy this little thing.
You don't have to actually do it either.
They will ask you when you buy the card. They will say, "Do you want the prize now, or do you want to actually do it and come back?" So for kids, sometimes it's exciting for them to redeem. It doesn't matter if you get it right.
That whole thing is genius. It was designed on the fact, can you get your kids to walk around while you drink?
Yes,
and they're like,
it is.
Oh, look, let's find the bee, and the parents
So during food and wine, it's Remy's hide and squeak is what you do on that. And then I feel like there's one for Festival of the Arts too. What would that one be? I feel like there's one on that too. But anyway, so cute merch there, and they're going to be $10 a piece.
Good point, though. I forgot all about
that. You can just go up and say, there's 4 prizes. Like the one that we just went to, Flower and Garden, they were little watering cans, and they were shaped. One was Orange Bird, one was Spike the Bee, one was, I think, Mickey.
Basically, you're paying for the prize and a piece of paper or whatever to do the
thing. But it is
a
fun thing for kids to do. They like to go around and look, and I'm looking for where I see Remy in each of these countries and what vegetable he's next to or whatever. It's very cute. So that's something. But the merch, there's going to be Spirit jerseys. Figment is kind of the icon of the Festival of the Arts, right? And then Flower and Garden, it's going to be a lot of times Minnie Mouse, and then it's also going to be Spike the Bee. Mm-hmm. And then Food and Wine is going to be Remy. Oops. Sorry. Is going to be Remy. And then I don't know if there is an icon for Festival of the Holidays. I don't know if they do.
I don't know. We'll look into it. If you know it, put it in the comments.
Right. So anyway, but merch is a good one. Go and look, see what they've got. Budget for that. Because there's a lot of cute, unique home merch, gardening merch, clothing. Like,
keyword is merch.
What are you rating Festival of the Holidays?
Yeah. So Festival of the Holidays, I will give, in my opinion, a 3.5. That is my least favorite of all of them. It's funny, it's one of my favorite times of year. But for this particular one, I give it about a 3.5 out of 5 because I feel like it just doesn't hit like anything else does. There are still the same food options and all. It just doesn't give me the same feeling as other ones do and doesn't speak to me on that. So I'll go 3.5.
I'm actually going to mirror your exact same score. What we would also love to hear, those of you who love that festival.
What do you love about it?
Please tell us, because it's been a while since I've done that festival. And sometimes.
And remember, as annual pass holders, we tend to avoid certain parts during the holiday season like that. We go just before. That's we just want to see the decorations for like early November and mid-November when they start stuff for like Christmas and everything else.
We're not grading holidays at Disney. We're grading that particular festival.
That
we
festival
love holidays
at
Disney.
3.5.
But that festival, I think, is a 3.5 also.
Okay, so that's good.
I think so.
Let's move along to our shout-out. Shout it out loud. I'm shouting. Okay, so we're going to shout out some individuals this week.
Yes.
Now that we know by Gina's timer that went off that we're over our budgeted time again.
Sorry, you're the one that set it up. Okay, so first shout out is to a friend. If you follow us on social media, you've heard us mention this friend before. We met them on social. Actually, the first interaction I had with this was over the picture that we posted about who the Walt animatronic looked like. That was my first conversation with Colton and the Castle. I'm sure most of you who listen may already be following him. He does great comedic Disney content, a lot of really fun, really relatable, and he is in it to win it. Like, he is so committed to the bit when he does these. Absolutely love it. So Colton and the Castle, give him a follow. We also got to do a podcast with him, Sharing the Magic podcast. He's one of their co-hosts. And so we are just big fans of him. So shout out to
Colton.
Colton and the Castle. Yes, Colton and the Castle. Also, another shout out we're going to give is to a friend of ours, Mish, who we have met on Instagram and I talk to pretty much every single day. And fun fact, I refer to her as Mish because I have a cousin named Michelle that our cousin Christiane calls Mish. And so when I saw her name, I was like, oh, Mish. And it's like a hard habit to break. So she told me I can call her Mish. But so Mish has got a great account. It's Mommy and Me AP Disney. We'll tag it down below. More fun Disney content. A great also cheerleader of people in the community. Always hyping up everybody else.
She's very nice.
Really fun. So
and she's talented, actually.
Talented
Mish,
artist.
Yeah, she's actually a very talented artist. Fun fact, she could have been a Disney animator at one point. She elected not to, so you know what?
Yes. So anyway, these are friends. When we give shout outs, it's to people that that's really what it is for us. It's just somebody that we have connected with and we appreciate the support and is always, there to hype us up. And so that's what these shout outs are for. I always
encourage people to follow their dreams. Like just like me. I dreamt of being unemployed and that's where I'm at.
I dreamt of credit card debt.
So you kids out there, you can achieve your dreams. If you
can do it.
If you set the bar incredibly low, you don't just hit that. You trip over it. So there you go.
Also, quick shout out again to my Magic of Mayhem shirt that
and
I
also
wore
your
this
earrings are cool. I was noticing. Where are your earrings from?
I got these from Magic Studio 28, and they are a great little small shop on Etsy.
I gotta get me a pair.
And they're insanely light.
What if
so
the next
light,
episode
like
I was wearing
nothing.
those?
Yes.
Okay.
And my
What's
shirt
the
from
next
Magic
one?
of Mayhem.
I was just wearing that. That'd
I
be
know.
funny. I'm
I
getting
know.
Stitch earrings. Stitch.
I love this color, by the way. This lavender. I don't know if
That's
it
a great
shows.
shirt.
Such
Yeah.
a pretty color.
I'm wearing my EPCOT. Everything's probably closed or temporary.
Oh, Josh,
shirt.
where do you get that shirt from? Actually,
I don't know. There's places.
sorry, you weren't ready on the button.
No, I just don't know where you get it. Oh. Maybe you get it at Theme Park Chuckle. Your favorite way to support your off-kilter podcast friends, Josh and Gina.
Yeah.
You can go on this week and order the Captain Jack's rum tours. Why is the rum always gone?
Boy.
You must be believing in ghost stories. You're in one.
And
So Captain Jack's rum tours. Why is the rum always gone? T-shirt available on Theme Park Chuckle. All proceeds will go to my drinking.
Yes, exactly. To our next festival. So we hope that you learned some things from this episode. We want to say also, I would love for all of you who are watching on YouTube, please make sure that you give us a like if you like this video. And even if you didn't, please give us a like
how that
anyway.
poked you in the
I
eye
want
this
you
time.
to subscribe to our channel because it will alert you every time a new video comes out. We post new videos every Thursday at noon Eastern. And hit that notification bell. That's what's going to do that for you. That's what's going to send it straight to your notifications. Duh. If you're on Spotify, please give us a follow. We love seeing our followers grow on there. We cannot stress enough how much we love your comments. It really does mean a lot to be able to get that feedback on every single episode. This episode in particular, we really do want to hear what you guys have to say, those who have been to the festivals or questions you have about festivals. And then please follow us also on our social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok. We also have a Facebook, and that would be at BBT Magic Podcast.
That's wonderful. That doesn't come off needy at all. Please comment. Just kidding. We need friends.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. And also, we actually, we are. I just give up. I give up on life. I'm done. I'm putting in the towel. This is my final episode.
I think if you and I went through a whole episode and didn't mess
we're
up,
also
people would
super
worry.
excited that we've got things coming up. We don't always try to put
Yes.
dates and everything in here to make this a little more, everybody can watch it at a certain point, not have to worry about something.
Right.
But we do have an upcoming event called the Podcast Party, which will have some special guests we are looking forward to doing a live show on YouTube. So everybody that is listening to this can mark their calendar for September 6th.
Yes, and
7 p.m.
ideally, even if you listen to this episode months from now, we should still be doing podcast
Yes,
parties.
we will.
It's
And you
something
can
we
still
wanna
watch the
keep doing.
content. It will be uploaded on there. You can see we're going to have a lot of fun with our guests. We're going to have some interaction with the audience. Whoever decides to get in there, we'll have special
we're
prizes. We'll have a
excited.
lot of things going on that we're really excited about. So with that being said,
Time for Josh to take his meds.
God, what's in this water? Stupid juice. With that being said, is the way you say this. I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. And please watch your head and step as you exit the podcast. We'll see you next time.
Bring back the magic for all to see. Together we'll discover all the joy and glow. In every story, there's a little bit of gold. Join our podcast adventure, let the magic unfold.